lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title of today's video, we're going to be reacting to Dope Lovers by DPR IAN, which I honestly cannot wait to get into. I am really enjoying listening to more of his music and going on this journey of discovering more about him, so I'm super excited to get into this video and see what I can expect. But before we do, if you guys are new to the channel, then welcome and thank you for joining. Make sure you're clicking that subscribe button down below to stay up to date with what I post on this channel, and while you're at it, why not leave a little like on this video as well? It really does help me to see what you're enjoying watching so I can keep on making more videos like this. But with all that being said, I just can't wait to get into this video, so let's go.
Oh. I'm sorry, she's vibing, no compass when I live, you're dying, when I'm falling, you falling.
Oh, hold up a second. I wasn't ready for this beat and rhythm going on, but I absolutely am living for it. I'm also going to put both earphones in because I feel like it's just necessary right now. I need to hear everything about this because it's just sounding incredible. But already, this rhythm and beat I'm loving. I am. Obviously, there's no captions on this video, so I will probably go through afterwards and maybe look at the lyrics with you guys. But yeah, I'm loving it already.
Sorry, she's vibing, no compass when I live, you're dying, when I'm falling, you falling. You're smiling, I'm sorry, she's vibing, no compass when I live, you're dying, when I'm falling, you falling.
Oh, tell you something, DPR IAN, I am falling more and more in love with your voice. That's what I can tell you. Wow. Okay. That lyric though, when I live, you're dying. In a sense, I feel like we're talking about this relationship. It feels like, you know, dope lovers, almost like that lover, that person. And it is almost like maybe this relationship isn't necessarily working in the way that you once thought it was going to. And it is just like, when I live, you're dying. It's almost like even though sometimes I may be at my happiest, ultimately, you're maybe not feeling the same way in that, and vice versa, you know. Ultimately, it's like this pendulum that keeps on swaying in this relationship where it just feels like nothing's quite fitting into the right place. Maybe that's where we're going. I don't know, but already I am loving this song. I am. This vibe, this feeling, everything and more. His voice, his voice, that's all I'm gonna say. I absolutely love it, I do.
No number, I like your first. I'm just here for two, lying next to you. So gone to the point I can't believe this was all from a kiss. You stayed for this, you stayed for this, you live for this, cause I just need you. You're smiling, I'm sorry, she's vibing, no compass when I live, you're dying, when I'm falling, you're falling.
Those ad-libs in the back as well. Oh, that's one thing I love. Do you know what, right? I will say, when it comes to DPR IAN's music as well, the one thing that I love is how explorative and how dynamic that he is within his vocals and within his, I don't know, dimensions within music. Like, the only way I can describe it is he does it unlike anybody else, in which, like, whenever he's singing, he will layer that vocal with something so unique and different going on in the background that really does just almost give you this feeling of like you're having this push and pull effect, in a sense. Like, you're being pulled in one direction because you're listening to the pure vocal, but also you're being like pushed in another direction because you've got like another fun dynamic going on in the background. And I love that in his music. I do. Every single time, without doubt, there is something awesome going on in the back end.
Untouched. How many times we lie through this moment just to hold back? Cause I think
how many times do we lie through this moment just to hold back? Oh, I do definitely feel like it's almost you're in this relationship and it's been a sense of you've maybe been holding on to this for so long in trying to repair whatever damage it feels like there is within the foundations. But it is just like at some point you realize to yourself that you do almost have to come to terms with the fact that this isn't the healthiest, relationship to be in, despite how much you may love that person, you may feel for that person, and how involved you feel like you are. It also isn't necessarily healthy to be in a relationship if it's not feeling like you are able to, really love each other and show that in the way that you both deserve on both sides. I don't know, but I don't know what it is about this film, but it's given me like just all of the great vibes and the feeling, and like I just want to move to the music. And I don't know what he does, but there's something about him as an artist that just hits different. It really does, and I genuinely am loving his music so much.
Times we lie through this moment just to hold back, 'cause I think I know that you compromise. You got everything to feel this. I thought you would fall, I would have missed. You live for this, 'cause I just need your smile. I'm sorry, she's vibing, no compass. When falling, you're dying. When I'm falling, you're falling. You're smiling, I'm sorry, she's vibing, no compass.
I love more than anything how we switch from that almost like falsetto voice to then more of like a speaking tone, in a sense. Like it's like a drastic shift, isn't it? And I feel like it's almost as if you're battling either yourself in your feelings and your emotions for this person, or like you're battling with this person, like you're having this conversation and having almost like the sweeter tones because you have all of this love and this light and this passion for this person. But it is just like then it almost sometimes can take a shift in the sense of you're going back to that speaking tone of like, this is actually the reality and this is what's going on. And even though I have all this sweetness and love for you, I also need to come to terms with the realities of what this relationship is and what we're facing if we continue on this cycle. It's almost like that sense of like a reality shift in a way.
I'm sorry, she's vibing, no compass. When I live, you're dying. When I'm falling, you falling. A dope lover, you are. A broke lover, he was. And he doesn't know she's tired, she's tired. A dope lover, you are. A broke lover, he was. And he doesn't know she's tired.
He doesn't know she's tired, like a broke lover he was. I think sometimes it is just in a sense as well that you don't necessarily know what's completely going through somebody else's mind, do you? Especially in a relationship, I think sometimes it can be so difficult to navigate. But I think just that sense of, in this scenario, him just saying a broke lover he was, and obviously with everything that we know about Ian and all of the challenges that he goes through, I can only imagine how difficult it must be to navigate that sense of sometimes your feelings, your emotions within a relationship, especially when you're dealing with the other person as well. Not only in a relationship do you have to consider your own feelings and how you interact within, that relationship, but also you have to consider another person's feelings as well on top of that. And I think that can be an overwhelming thing sometimes. And it's like in this scenario, he's probably dealing with so many things himself that he is having to try and sometimes hide because you don't necessarily want to show that person all of the difficulties and challenges you're going through, that it's almost like you're trying so hard to conceal that yourself that the other person then sometimes maybe feels like their emotions and their feelings aren't being seen as much and aren't being validated as much. And in that sense, maybe that does make that person feel a little bit tired of this constant situation going around. But what I love most with this song is just really focusing on how complex love can be, and really just saying like unintentionally sometimes beyond our control and beyond our own emotions, love can be very complicated in so many different ways, and not just necessarily loving somebody, because you can love somebody and it can just be that true, but in the sense of understanding the truth of people's emotions and the truth of people's feelings. within that love. Like, love can mean so many different things, but it's understanding that sometimes love just isn't enough, you know, in many ways. And I think this song really is just a really beautiful and sort of wrapped up emotional way of just showcasing that.
He was, and he doesn't know she's tired. You're tired. But you smile, she smiles. You try to build a fire. No time to go higher. She's tired because it hurts every time. You're smiling, I'm sorry. She's falling, no compass.
The vocals, the ad-libs, the layering. And it's almost like, you know, we're talking about falling, we're talking about all of these feelings just almost rising to the surface, and it just feels like everything is just slipping away. And it's almost like that is where we're going with the vocals as well. Those like call outs and cry outs and like almost echoes in a sense. It is just like, it feels in the vocals as if you're falling in slow motion. You almost can't figure out the way to really break free of everything. And I think that is so incredible. I think for me, DPR IAN really does just tell a story so beautifully through the vocals as well. Like the layering of all of those vocals coming together then. It just is so unbelievably gorgeous, isn't it? I love this beat. Wow. Absolutely incredible. And like I said though, we will just go and have a little look through some of these lyrics, because I feel like obviously with the video not having the captions, I definitely want to check out more so like the depth of the lyrics as well, because I wasn't picking up on everything. So let's do that. Oh, straight away I feel like that lyric there. You're smiling, I'm sorry. She's vibing, no compass. And I think that, like we were saying, you know, it is almost like sometimes you don't know how to navigate this relationship in the right way, and sometimes it can be difficult to find the direction that you're meant to be going in. So it's almost like no compass. It's like, how do we find the way along this journey, this path together, when we can't even figure out which direction we're meant to be going in, you know? I love that lyric. When I live, you're dying. When I'm falling, you fall in. Oh, so it's like when I'm falling, you almost fall into the same cycle that I'm in, and it's almost like I then am leaning on you in a sense. So it's almost like there's this maybe dependency going on, and it's like I constantly feel like I'm leaning on you, and maybe I'm not necessarily seeing how much of a burden sometimes that may seem on your part, why maybe you're feeling a little bit tired because you're constantly having to see me in this cycle and not knowing how to really help. A dope lover, you'd say. No number, I like your face. I'm just here for two, lying next to you. So gone to the point I can't believe this was all from a kiss. You stayed for this. You lived for this. Wow. So it's almost like, in a way as well, it being called dope lovers, I think is a really clever term, because it's like dope lover, like a really great lover, maybe in a sense, its meaning. But also I think that obviously dope is a slang word, isn't it, for that sense of, you know, love almost being like a drug in a sense, you know? And it's like you have this dependency, you have this almost addiction to this person, like you feel like you need them to continue on, maybe. So it's like, in a sense, that title really is playing on that as well, I feel like, maybe. I just think, again, you know, that sense of not really knowing how to navigate a relationship, you know, you stayed for this. It's almost like, in a sense, I think that repetition there, you stayed for this, you stayed for this. It's almost like questioning to yourself, like, you stayed for this? Like, this is what you wanted? This is what you were willing to, you know, really work through, because you loved me that much that you were willing to see all of me, everything about me, and still find a way to love me in the way that I didn't think anybody necessarily would be able to, you know? It's beautiful. When I live for you, I'm falling. I love that lyric so much. You don't think we don't know love. We can't leave the question untouched. How many times we laugh at this moment just to hold back? Because I think I know that you compromised this. Oh, you got everything to feel bliss. I thought you would fall. I would have missed. You live for this. So it's like almost in a sense, in both parties, it feels like you've both had to compromise within this relationship because on the one hand, you know, that person's had to be that dependency for you, and on the other hand, you've had to be almost the one to rely on falling on that person. So it's like, in a sense, you both compromised in this relationship together, even though maybe at times you've known that it's been something that you shouldn't have necessarily done because it's felt like just a cycle of overwhelming and maybe in some instances a little bit overbearing of love, but it's just been that dynamic, and it's something that I think this is the thing, isn't it, with love? I think it becomes a situation and a cycle that you get so used to that it's difficult to know how to stop going on this, you know, like loop, isn't it? I think overall, this whole song, it just does feel like that sense of you having so much love for a person and so much of a hold, maybe, or a grasp on a person that you just don't know how to navigate anything else. It's like you don't want to leave this behind, but you know also that it's not benefiting both of you in being in this relationship because, you know, like he says, she's tired. And in a sense, now you're tired because you don't really know how to stop this dependency, this intense passion and love, and just hold on this person that it is just like maybe on a reflection of everything, this just isn't necessarily the right thing to be continuing. But it's just not being able to break away either, you know? I just think for me, this whole song just feels like a battle within love, a battle within, you know, your thoughts and your feelings, and not really knowing how to move on in a way, not really knowing the right way forward for both of you and how to, you know, really continue on living a life that's not with that person because you're so used to that person, you're so used to this almost like habit now that it's like, how do you forget and how do you move past that, you know? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching along this video with me. If you did, like I said, make sure you click on that subscribe button down below to stay up to date with what I post on this channel. And while you're at it, why not leave a little like on this video as well? It really does help me to see what you're enjoying watching so I can keep on making more videos like this. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day and I will see you in the next video.